I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video, and this is another paid request, this time from Frame by Frame. Thank you so much for that. If anyone requests pretty much any other type of videos or topics or reactions or re-reviews, commentaries, or any other random stuff, feel free. You can send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for Stranger Things Episode 3 of Season 1, I should mention that. Holly Jolly. And last we left off, pretty much the lead kid's sister, her friend named Barb, the girl with the glasses, she was taken. She's now in, I believe, the upside down world, whatever you would call it. Like this decaying alternate dimension. And it looks like it could be interesting, but you don't really get much of a look. I'm guessing they're saving that for later. And you see like certain creatures, but again, you don't really get much of a look at them. And I hate to say it, but with the Barb character, I didn't give a shit that she got dragged away, because all I know about her is that she is the sister's friend and she's got glasses. I mean, I hate to say it, I just, okay, it's kind of that reaction. And I got more about, okay, there's an alternate dimension, this is what it looks like. Less, I got out of that more so than, oh no, this one girl's being dragged away. And then leaked his sister, the previous episode, she had sex, she's awkward around her boyfriend, she's awkward at school. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, the sister, it's not that the actress was doing a bad job, I'm like, I don't care. This is one story aspect, I don't care. But I would say I like this more than the previous episode, because I like seeing a bit more of Eleven's background. Again, I thought that actress, she's doing a really good job. The little girl, I cannot remember the actors' names for the life of me on the kids. But, you know, I liked the 80s aesthetic in this. I thought it worked better here compared to other stuff I've seen. Since it's nostalgia fad, and I love the 80s to death as well as the 90s to death. But the reason Hollywood is doing this now is because they don't look at it with reverence like we do. They look at it as some kind of money. So for them, it's a fad. But you're compared to other stuff, like you have the old TV, and she's watching TV, and there's one like He-Man. I've got the power. You know, that was nice to see. Or the old cans of Coke. When they, I think it's the new Coke, when they changed the formula, and people got pissed. And then after that, you had Coke 2. Because you get a little bit more flashbacks to Matthew Modine, who runs the laboratory, wanting Eleven to crush this can of soda. And then later on wanting her to hurt this cat, and she didn't want to do that, so she's good in my book. I love cats, so she doesn't want to hurt the cat. You're good in my book. And they throw her ass into something. She fucks them up, and like breaks someone's neck with her mind. And it's okay. That's a pretty good scene. It's a pretty good scene that they hint at in the previous episode, but we see the full effect. And I'm like, do we really need a hint to that in the previous episode when you're just going to show the whole thing in this episode? That's what I mean. Like, I enjoyed it, but I see it dragging a little bit. I know it's trying to do a slow burn, but it seems more like we're doing a slow burn because it's, what is it, 8, 10 episodes, however long? Not so much that it's needed, but that's just me. That's why I do wonder if this would have worked better as a miniseries, like Stephen King's It. Speaking of which, I did like, I don't know if this is purposely a moment, but the 3 kids, they listen to Eleven, and they believe her because she's got telekinetic abilities, that there's this monster out there, and they find a rock, and one's like, this is the monster killer for his slingshot. That almost reminds me of the bit in the 1990 Stephen King's It, where they had those little, what was it, diamonds or something, and then she has the slingshot. I don't know if they're ever going to do that in the show, but if they don't, then it seems like a waste of building something up that doesn't happen. But yeah, I liked a bit more of the bonding between Eleven and the lead kid. I liked that. I thought they're having good chemistry back and forth. This friendship growing. David Harbour, he has a little bit more to do here than the last episode, where he's looked into Matthew Modine and his group and his MK Ultra, and you get to know a little bit about what their dealings are, using like this woman that was taken, and she said that they took my little girl, which I'm guessing that'll come up later in the show. I did like to say with Winona Ryder, she's buying these light bulbs, and it's all these Christmas type of light bulbs. Blink once for yes, twice for no, and it blinks. And I thought Winona Ryder did a good job acting, because think about how ridiculous that is. You have to act with a light, a blinking light, that you have to believe that this is my son, or my son communicating to me. I thought Winona Ryder did a good job. That's not an easy thing to play off of, but that was pretty solid. And it seemed like this episode, it didn't have as much, I don't want to say filler, like the second episode. I'm like, okay, the one kid goes to see his deadbeat father, whatever. The girl, sister, oh, I'm going to have sex. I don't care if you have sex or what. But here, I thought, okay, now we're really getting somewhere, where a little bit backstory, like I said, of Matthew Modine and the laboratory, that group. A little bit more of Eleven's backstory, a little bit more of, I'm guessing that little girl that was taken, that's in this newspaper, not even it was one of the things David Harbour finds out. I'm guessing that's the mother who said, my daughter was taken. I'm guessing that's 11, or maybe it's another girl. And I liked the way it ended. I thought it was an interesting dynamic, one of grimness and one of hope. Where with Winona Ryder, for her, it's a message of hope because she got in contact with her kid. And that intercuts with the grimness where, oh, they find a body and they think it's Will. That's the missing kid's name, Will. Now, of course, since everyone talks about the show, I already know, no, that kid's not dead. So I guess I don't really have the feelings that maybe people did when they first saw it. They didn't know what was going to happen next. But that's not the show's fault. I thought it had a really nice song. It's a nice version of We Can Be Heroes. Just for one. mean, I'm not even going to try to sing it. I thought it's a really good song. Really good song. I remember now, my friend Michael CP, I think he watched this show when it first came out, this first season, and I think he reviewed it? I don't know, I have to look again. But I remember him showing me the song, and I think he showed me a music video? I can't remember. But yeah, it's a good version of the "We Can Be Heroes Just for One Day," but it's much more of a slower version, and definitely felt a bit more. It was a good emotional take on that song. And I said that the kids are doing a great job. Winona Ryder as well, as in that 80s aesthetic, and again, while I might not be big on some of the effects, like there's a point where she's being contacted and she set up this thing and run is spelled, and then this thing coming out of the wall, it's not the best CGI. I'm like, you have such an 80s aesthetic, why don't you just go with an old school technique on that? If it was, that it wasn't really photographed as well as it should have, but it just looked CG, and it just don't do that. If you're going with an 80s aesthetic, use the tools of the 80s of that time and really complete your goal of being an 80s feel to the show. Because when I see that, it takes me out of your 80s aesthetic, which I don't understand. You're trying to make it so much like the 80s. Here's an Evil Dead poster, He-Man on the TV, but then you want to throw in CG there. Now maybe because of the budget, but I'm sorry, there are movies that cost 10 cents that have that type of, practical effects, or even stop motion, or something. Anyway, again, the sister character I'm not really giving a shit about. She does a little bit better here than the previous one when she's wondering where Barb, her friend, is, and she does care. At least there's that. She's not a total bitch. But again, if people were to ask me what's one of my least favorite characters of the show, it would be the lead kid's sister so far. I just, very big amount of indifference. But yeah, like I said, I do think it was a step up from the second one, because it's finally, seems like, okay, we're going somewhere. And, yeah. It was definitely a well done ending that gets you into the next one. But yeah, thanks to Frame by Frame for requesting episode 2 and 3 via PayPal. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.